As you go through the process of finding the coach, how important will it be to find the right fit for Baker Mayfield, to find a guy who will be able to ensure that everything he does well is maximized?
Well, I mean, he's developing as a quarterback. He's still a rookie quarterback. He's demonstrated certain things during the course of a game that get you excited. But I think if you would ask him as a person, he still has a lot more football to master the position he plays. And I think he will continue to do that. Now, with regard, again, the traits that you look for in that coach, men of character, are they leaders, high football acumen, and then you'll get that in the interview process of, how deep of a football knowledge do these respective people have. I mean, that's natural when you go through the interview process.
Do you have to consider that fit your quarterback?
I think what you do is you consider everything, but you consider at the end of the day what's the greater good for the Cleveland Browns and this franchise moving forward.
As you begin the early processes of the coaching search, can you give us a little insight as to where you're at with that right now? Are you compiling a list? Are you compiling characteristics you're looking for in a coach? What exactly?
I think it's a combination of things. I think it's organizational tenets with regards to this person. I think it's football philosophy. And then I think it's, what are the characteristics of that man? I know me personally, I would like to see a man of character. I would like to see a man who can lead young men. I'd like to see a man who's got high football acumen. I mean, those are the three basic things there I'd look for.
I'm sure you probably had somebody in mind when you got here to be that coach. Is that person still at the top of your list?
Anybody who sits in my position will have a list of anywhere from a head coach to a quality control, and I have multiple lists. But what I want to do is make sure that we as a group, whenever you make a tough decision like this from an overarching organizational decision, you want to get as much information as you possibly can. You want to do it in a collaborative manner and make sure you're very prudent as you go through the process. But rest assured, at the end of the day, this guy will be the best candidate for the Cleveland Browns moving forward.
When you're talking about leadership, is there a charisma factor in that? I just wondered if there's, someone who commands a room and just what he can do to a team that's on the rise.
In the interview process, I mean, again, you'll see guys who can lead men, guys that have character, guys that have high football acumen. You'll feel this guy. I mean, it's like anything what you do in terms of interviewing people. You'll get a feel for that person, but you're asked certain questions, you begin to gather the information that you want. But at the end of the day, I think it'll be, I know it'll be the best for this organization moving forward.
You find a guy, the internal Discord thing has basically been a theme here in Berea since 2012. So how do you find the right guy that will not only fit and meet all your criteria of what you want in a head coach, but someone that is going to be able to basically play well with others and get along and keep the eye on what's important, and that's winning?
No, that's a good question. What it is, it's got to be the interview process. Do they align within the organizational tenets, too, of what you're looking for? But I think as you go through the interview process, you will be able to see what really is in his soul and his fiber. How deep of a knowledge does he have? What type of people will he surround himself with? I've been in the league, a lot of years, and I know the majority of coaches, not only in the college ranks, but in the professional ranks, both as head coaches. I mean, I'll know most of who he's talking about, and then you'll see how it all unfolds.
Can you address what involvement like Jimmy and Dee Haslam will have in this process, and just sort of outline for us how you are leading this search and how this is all you're going to arrive at a decision?
Well, Jimmy and Dee and Jimmy, they own the team. So I think with ownership, what you have to do is sometimes, not sometimes, but you sit down and communicate. Any good organization will communicate as these hard decisions are being made. And then we as a senior management team will say, here's who we think is best for this organization moving forward.
I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you've directed a coaching search like this, headed one before like this.
No, I've never headed one. I've been a part of one in Green Bay.
Does the magnitude and the importance of this hire, I mean, does that strike you? This could determine the direction of the team for 10 years.
I understand that, and the one thing I've always thought about is one of the most important decisions, I know this, I think about this driving home all the time, is the hiring of the right head coach for this organization moving forward. I think that is tantamount, and I think about that every day driving home, and just make sure you don't mess it up. That's why I keep telling myself, just don't mess this thing up.
I'll ask you this because he put his name out there and he's not working anywhere. Bruce Arians, you could interview him right now. Would he be on your list?
I have a lot of respect for Coach Arians. Right now, we're in the process of beginning to finalize our plan, and when it comes the appropriate time, if he happens to be one of the people, you'll find out.
Do you have an outside firm? Are you going to use an outside firm like this, Jet Hughes, or do you believe that with all your experience that you don't need that?
We don't need that.